Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why, did you finally listen to it?
Before we start this podcast, let me invite you to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or any podcaster. I'm such a cute. Alright, everybody, quiet on the set. The Groomer Next Door, take one. To the audience. In 3, 2, 1, action! And he is your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Sit down.
Hello, Pups and Kittens, and welcome to episode 122 of The Groomer Next Door. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me, as always, is the fabulous Sarah.
Hello.
Well, we're actually doing our show outside today, so I'm hoping that some of the little sounds of here doesn't, clog up our mics too much. Love doing it in all kinds of little places so that you guys can hear all kinds of different atmospheres, hear cars, people, all kinds of things. That's what makes the podcast so much fun.
And what makes it fun for me is I can do funny gestures to you to where you're about ready to laugh and you have to look away from me in order to keep your composure.
Yeah, doing a podcast sometimes can be very difficult because you guys can't see what we're doing, and we're usually trying to make each other laugh and throw each other off so that we actually mumble words or throw ourselves off.
Instead of embracing each other, trying to make each other better, we're our own demise.
We are our worst enemies. So anyways, it's actually an early recording for us. We usually record on a Saturday, but we have such an amazingly busy weekend. Traveling this weekend to Springfield, where we got Claire's soccer, which she will be on the podcast talking about in a little bit. And we've got all this stuff going on, so we were like, how are we going to do it? So that's how we came up with it. Let's do it on a Friday night.
We've been so busy that now that we can actually get something done early, we're like,
let's just go and do it.
Do it,
right.
Get it done right, so we can relax when we can.
Yeah, we're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And let me tell you something, everything's against the wall. Not a lot of things are sticking, but anyway. So, with that said, let's dive into the Weekly Roundup.
The Weekly Roundup, yeehaw.
Alright, so this week was Cluster F, to say the least.
Cluster fun?
Cluster fun, I like it. That would be a fun little candy. I'm going to have me some cluster fun. I'm going to start off this week by pretty much starting with Monday. Start with Monday, and that was we had to go and pick up a cat. You're like, what?
Oh, yeah, Monday evening.
Yep, yes. Monday evening. We find out, we're going to have to go pick up a cat. And, oh boy, what a cat it is.
Yes, I get a message from the president of the call. She has a whole bunch of stuff that is taking up her time with her family. And we pray that everything works out for her and her family. So, as vice president, you kind of have to you got to go and support your president. So I asked her, what did you need me to do? She says, well, I just got to get over to this one person's house to pick up one of the cats that has a potential home here soon. Well, let me do it. I got time. I got room. I got laundry room. I'm good.
I got time. Now, when you say I have time, that means I have 15 minutes in between the hours. And, there's like an hour here where I could put 5. And then 2 hours later, I have another 10 to spare. Yeah.
We're not kidding.
No, we're not kidding, folks. It is literally like that.
So this kitty came from a hoarding situation. We've talked about hoarders all the time.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, there was a hoarder of. Did I say
we
this
did talk. We did it on GND last week. Instead of doing actual stories, we talked about that.
Okay. Well, this Maine Coon cat is one of the 20 that was rescued out of that house. Sweet guy.
I would disagree, but
no, he's really sweet. But when you take a cat and you shove him in the house and you have hardly any human contact,
yeah,
it makes for a very
aggro.
Yes, I mean borderline feral cat.
I was a little surprised on his age, though. His determination is
I don't
7.
think it's 7.
Yeah, I don't think it's 7 years old.
The paperwork said he is 7. He has gotten neutered. He has his shots. His SNAP test came back. He is negative for all diseases.
Yep, doesn't have FIV. So
Yep, no feline leukemia or anything like that. So we've been having him in quarantine away from our cats because we don't want our cats getting sick.
Right. Well, that's the challenge of fostering and being in emergency housing, is that if you do have pets of your own, you really have to think of your own pets. It is a challenge.
Yes, when it comes to cats, we do not have a place for them for long term. We can keep them in our laundry room, but it's not a home.
No.
And it's so important for cats to feel at home in order for them to be reintroduced. Thank you. Reintroduced to society. So shoving them in a laundry room.
I mean, it's a pretty big laundry room.
Well, it is. It is.
I mean, there is room for it to jump around, play around, run
Get
around.
behind everything.
Exactly.
But I would like them to have the house, like what we do with our dogs. When we foster our dogs, they have the reign. They can walk around the house.
Yeah, they have full range. Unless we haven't found out their testing and we don't know if they have anything. Right. Then of course they're quarantined.
But for the most part, our dogs are pretty cool. Katana's a welcome wagon. Even with cats, Katana's a welcome wagon.
Yeah, she's the ambassador.
So Rambo's having trouble with it.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah. Rambo does not like anything new coming in the house, and Rambo has seen, oh my gosh, the handful of dogs at 30, 40 dogs, cats, whatever. I mean, he's seen a lot, and he still gets jealous.
It's kind of crazy.
It really is.
Luckily the drive was real quick to go get the cat.
Yeah.
It has been a little difficult taking care of him. But we have decided that it is safer for him to be inside a large crate. This crate's big enough to put a food bowl down, water bowl, a huge litter box.
It would be equivalent to what a studio apartment would be for us.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. And he seems real happy and content.
He's very happy in there.
He's very content in there.
Yeah.
I was cooking dinner and I had the door open so he can see. And I would say, "Hi, handsome," and he would meow back. I'm like, "How are you?"
He's got a cute meow.
Yeah, and he just meows back. He talks.
Yeah.
He headbutts. Now, the problem with him is that he stinks so bad.
That's from the hoarding situation.
Yes, he's been cooped up in this house with urine and feces everywhere, where the only place you had to lay down, previous cat marked.
Yeah.
So you get the smell of the urine and feces on him.
But he did chew off a lot of his matted hair.
Yes, and it looked like he also chewed himself to the point from fleas and ticks and such. Now that he's treated, he's fine. Everything's good to go. So that was Monday, and then he had a vet appointment today, and I about lost my stuff.
I was happy. I'm always happy to take him to the vet to make sure that they're okay and they're getting shots. I'm always happy with it.
He jumped when he got the needle, 2 needles.
Yeah, when he had blood drawn.
My baby! I'm like, wait a second, you're not my baby, you're my foster, but you're my baby. Don't poke my baby. Is there a better way of doing this?
There's one thing about fostering is that you do grow an attachment. And what's nice is that you grow this attachment, and you really have to develop a layer of skin where you grow this very thick. You have to love them and really cherish them when you have them. But when you're giving them up, you have to be happy for their future success and life that they're going to live, and that's the challenge.
That is a huge challenge.
You've yet to actually succeed in there.
Nope. I cried when we dropped off Stella. I cried when we thought we had a potential adopter for Rambo. I cried when I thought I had to give Winchester up.
You cried on all of them, actually.
Sydney,
you did.
Well, yeah, but
We were at work, which is the worst thing you could do, is have a dog transported from work.
That sucked. That made that day sucky.
The same thing happened for Lily and Melody as well.
That hurt. That hurt Claire too.
That was on it. They came to work and they picked them up. This is a podcast, and we say this all the time. This is a podcast that goes out in the community and helps animals. We are the voice for the voiceless. That's what this show has always been about.
But knowing that we played a major role in saving all these dogs,
cats, yeah.
But on top of trying to get this kitty to trust us, we have had murderous days.
Oh gosh.
I've never gone to work on a Wednesday more sore than I am leaving on a Friday. I was like, I'm not rested up from the day before.
No.
And then Wednesday was just a pounding, and Thursday was pounding, and today was kind of light.
Yeah, today we were able to slide by.
We had a dog that the owner was sick, so she had to reschedule.
Right. Which nowadays we're not finding this. People are coming in, and we've that actually brings it up. One of the dogs came in. The mother had surgery, but they knew that they couldn't miss the appointment. So they said, we will do everything we can. She's recovering. We're getting the dog there.
Her son came down from Farmington, Missouri.
Wow, that's far.
To make sure that the dog got to us safely. And it got to us so we can get everything taken care of. And then pick the dog up.
That's just because they're so afraid. If we miss it, we're literally 16 weeks at earliest to get in.
Yep. It was a puppy, a 9-month-old Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
And they saw the pictures on our Facebook page and knew that this was a place to go. It kind of made me smile. And I told them, you got to make 1 to 2 appointments ahead of time.
So insane.
We are booking out
2
months now.
So it's 7 to 8 weeks, or 6 to 8 weeks in that window, and then it's 12 to 16 weeks again. So they're ready.
Yeah, the problem is that our customers are coming in and okay, can I make my next appointment? Oh, you go 6 weeks out. Yeah, I'm like, we are booked further than that. Can we go 7, 8?
Usually it's 8 now.
Oh, maybe 9.
I feel bad because even friends of ours that I really do cherish, they're even like, hey, I need to get our dog in, including the assistant coach of the soccer team. And I look at her and I go, oh my gosh, you don't understand. She goes, really, it's that bad? I go, it's beyond that. And
some groomers think being booked out a solid week is something exciting.
Well, it is. I'm not going to take that away from them.
We're weeding out the groomer hoppers, which is good. We're also weeding out the ones who argue price with me.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable.
I get a lot of this. Well, the groomer out in the St. James only charges $25. And I simply look at him and say, well, she charges what she thinks her grooms are worth. I mean, if
we're not crazy in this.
No, we're not, but if they're coming in and they want a Bernese Mountain Dog shaved down, I'm not charging $25.
No.
I mean, that is $65 to $75 depending on how bad it is.
Right.
Or what bad shape it is. So those people who like to haggle on price, we're starting to get them to go somewhere else.
Right. And on top of this, of having, what we have during the day, we also have people that randomly walk in for just walk-in nail trims.
Yes, we do take them walk-in nail trims between 9 and 3.
They come in at all times.
Yeah. And which is really cool. I mean, it's nice to know that on any given day we have 1 to 2 walk-in nail trims.
Depends on the dog.
That means they're willing to pay the $1 extra. Now we trim and grind the nails. Yes. We don't just trim them and let them go home scratching.
Right.
Severe cases we do, but typically most dogs are chill with the nail grinder.
I like grinding. It's you can get right to the quick on grinding and literally
not hurt them
and not actually quick them so they're bleeding. I like it better. It's just efficient.
So we got that going on. We have you are washing so many dogs that we have to let the water heater catch up.
Oh gosh, I feel bad for Laura because she's doing wash, and we have now a code word, dirty salami. She wanted salami. I like the word dirty salami.
To get her to leave her.
Yeah, it's like if I say dirty salami, she can go and do. She can actually go and wash. And it's hectic. So anyway, to kind of summarize, it's all hectic.
It's hectic. People are booking. My Newfoundland has 3 appointments booked out. That's every 5 weeks.
That's coming up here soon.
With our book, our grooming book, we get a typical, just an appointment book that anybody would get. And once it gets to a certain point, when it's 8 weeks to the day, 9 weeks to the day, we put on there, we need a new book. Every day until it hits 8 weeks, we have to have a new book by 8 weeks out. And then we buy another book, so then people who do schedule appointment every 2 months can get on the new book. We already have a list, and I'm talking about an entire list. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I've seen parts of it. It makes me hyperventilate.
It's an entire page of future grooming appointments.
Scares me.
And it's to the point where, even though we're still about, I think, 15 weeks before we need a new appointment book, we have to get a new appointment book now. Because we're going to get to the point where we're going to be writing these extra appointments in, and all of a sudden days are going to be full. And then we're going to overbook because we don't know just yet. So
insanity.
It is an absolute blessing.
It's a blessing.
It's job security. It's the more money we can bring into our pockets, the more that we can do for the community.
And
the more
that's
transport.
the other thing, though. Here's the other part, is that your phone on a daily basis, Facebook message, bling, 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 bling. I literally now start to actually gasp and have panic attacks because it's always something. I'm oh my gosh. Don't even start with me. I have so many things I want to say.
I have either call messages, which, volunteer work, or I have Facebook messages for work. I have text messages for work. I have inquiries.
People wondering, how do I, my pet needs this, my pet needs that. There's so many pet needs.
Or they come to me when they can't talk to their vet.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
They know that I have quite a bit of knowledge about dog health in general.
Right.
That they come to me and they ask me if they can't get to their vet on time, and I give them a roundabout suggestion because we do so much reading and we do this.
Yeah.
But we've been blessed with all this. We can turn around. We can do more transports.
Yep. We were supposed to do transport tomorrow, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, pregnant Kenny over in.
Yep. We actually this week. You're fine. This week, another thing. I mean, we got to wrap this part up.
Yeah, right.
But another thing.
This is the entire podcast.
All right. We even were down at the actual shelter this week. Brought in donations of food, cat litter, things for the actual pet pantry. I mean, these are just. In the middle of the week, we're like, okay, let's try to break away from the salon, go give the shelter some donations so that they're supplied, because they're always anything government run. We got to
37 pounds of Arm & Hammer cat litter for $3.50.
That was awesome.
$10 savings.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So we picked up both of them, and we're like, oh, here's shelter. You have the win.
Here you go. You need this. So yeah, it's been crazy. Well, with that said, I'm going to actually move on to G&D News. Alright, this week on G&D News, I have two really good stories for you. Both of them will hopefully open your eyes to things that go on around your house. That's what this week's topic is going to be, around your house and things you need to look out for. First one, very rough story. You know what? I'm absolutely dumbfounded, but we're always saying, when you go outside, look at your front yard, because foreign items could be in your yard, and it's so harmful for your pets. If you have kids running in your front yard, they can even become susceptible to it. So always keep an eye on your front yard, and that's what the first story is. And the second story is, when you have repairmen or people that are coming over to actually do any kind of repairs or anything to do with your house, whether it's power, cable, phones, whatever. FedEx, all these things,
Yes.
you got to be careful because a really nasty situation, which I have a real gripe about, is on that one. So, with that said, let's start with our first story. So, Claire, play that clip.
After a young dog's mysterious death in Council Bluffs, members of the neighborhood are speaking out.
They say this dog is just one of many that have died unexpectedly.
Our Aaron Murray spoke to several families tonight. And Aaron, what are they telling you?
Well, John and Mallory, this is the neighborhood in Council Bluffs we're talking about. And in just 6 years, these homes have all had one or more dogs die. And I spoke to these families today, and they all say all of their dogs' death, the vet told them it was poison.
Tara Campbell's lived on Rosebud Road in Council Bluffs for 6 years.
Come here. Come here.
And in that time, she's owned a few dogs. But a limp green leash in her front yard now holds a terrifying story.
They did some tests and some labs, and they said that his sodium chloride levels were extremely high.
Campbell was dog-sitting 10-month-old golden retriever Harley for a few weeks for her dad. But then Harley got sick on Tuesday, and a trip to the vet pointed to poison.
They did a urinalysis, and it came back positive for antifreeze and an unknown crystal.
Harley had to be put down this morning. And as it turns out, Harley is not the first dog to die unexpectedly in this neighborhood. Matt Smith and his wife lived a few houses down, and in 2010, their dog Jazz died. They remember the night vividly.
And I heard her scream and say, "Oh no." And I bolted out of bed, and there was black blood and feces all over the house. So we tended to our daughter, got her calmed down, got her a bottle, maybe 5 minutes time, went back upstairs, and she crawled to the foot of our bed and passed away at the foot of our bed.
Tiffany Springsteel, who lived next door to Campbell in 2011, also has a similar story with her dog Ruffy.
Our dog started acting really funny one night, and so we started keeping a close eye on him. He started puking. We took him to an overnight vet and found out he was poisoned.
For Campbell, Harley's death was the last straw. She filed a report with the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Department, who came out Thursday. She showed them the area in her yard where she found refried beans spread across the ground that the dog may have licked.
When the Pottawatomie County deputy came out, he even collected evidence. Inside this bag is some of the food that the dog consumed that was spread out on the ground.
In the last 6 years, Campbell's counted 9 dogs, all with tragic deaths that seemed to be poisoned.
Obviously, this wasn't innocent, and it was an intentional act. So I want everybody to be aware.
Everyone wanting it to stop and to have the person behind it all caught.
Aaron Murray reporting. If you have any information on this crime, call the Pottawatomie County's Crime Stoppers at 712-328-STOP. Campbell says they also have a $500 reward for anyone who can give deputies any solid leads.
All right, so again, like I had said in the opening of this, all of these people lived in a regular residential area. It wasn't like, oh, well, they had lots of land to actually cover. No, regular kind of residential area, typical kind of front yard.
Regular suburbia.
Exactly, regular suburbia, exactly. And, you know, whoever this a-hole is, who is doing it, they're obviously trying to cause harm. They're out vindictive trying to do
sick.
something.
They're
Yeah,
sick,
and they know
sick,
that
sick people.
And they know that unless there's a camera set up, they're probably going to get away with it, which unfortunately so far they have. Which I'm really hoping that this BA you-know-what gets caught and absolutely finds his way in jail. Or her, who knows anymore. But it's why we always say, look at your front yards, because anything could happen. I mean, in our area, we find that sometimes as you're driving in some parts of our area, on our street, sometimes people will smash mailboxes.
Yeah.
Out of random.
I forgot about that.
And it happens. So, luckily ours has never been smashed, but, you know. Some people who have really fancy ones have been smashed and they're on the ground, and it's just so
it's
sad.
Beautiful brickwork
Yeah,
and everything.
and it's destroyed. So, I would never put it past people to throw, like they said, refried beans with cause.
When I lived out in Fullerton, California, I was living with my cousins. They had 2 dogs. They had 2 pit bulls. The sweetest things. They're adorable. Never barked. They were just real good dogs. Well, one time my cousin was looking out the window and saw something fly over the fence. So she runs out there because her male pit bull was gonna go sniff at it. She looked at it and it was bologna, like lunch meat.
Yeah.
And there was rat poison in it.
Yeah. And that's not out of the ordinary. We've even heard about it happening here, where people have found content on their yard, and they know. We've heard about dogs that actually have died from this stuff. So it's so common. I mean, I'm always looking at our front yard because our dogs go outside when we open up the door to go to the bathroom and come back.
And people can be driving by and throwing something out of their window.
Right.
And it can happen so quick. It's Rolla. There's busted up trucks everywhere. There's clunkers all the time. So you can't really tell a clunker from another clunker.
And you never know. These people could just be driving through just at a random.
Right, and they could just have something that is perfectly fine and they throw it out the window, and then that piece of food is actually deadly to the dog.
Right.
And the dog eats it.
Right. So definitely keep your eyes on that. Now the second story, it comes from Kingwood, Texas. This person not only should be fired, but should actually face criminal charges. And I so hope that the owner of this house, I hope that they actually file charges against this guy. I hope they actually sue the electric company for what's happened. I think that something really has to happen. I'll just let you guys hear it. So Claire, play that clip.
All right, now to that video that had animal lovers outraged. A Centerpoint Energy contractor hitting 2 dogs with a wrench. It's all on tape. Eyewitness News reporter Marla Carter now live with a response from Centerpoint Energy and an update on the dog's conditions. Marla?
We just talked to Centerpoint Energy. A spokesperson told us the company does not condone the behavior seen in that disturbing video. It is launching a full internal investigation. Even Centerpoint Energy calls this video disturbing. A man working for Star Company, a Centerpoint contractor, walks into the Wilcox backyard. The dogs appear to approach the man. As the dogs are close, the worker then strikes them with a wrench. After learning about what happened, Mike Wilcox confronted the man.
Why didn't you come knock on the door? We were home, He's like, I don't have to do that.
And he doesn't. According to Centerpoint policy, the contractor was disconnecting service. And in those cases, they don't have to knock.
It absolutely would have made best sense to have knocked on the door, but our process today is for non-payment, for disconnection of non-payment, it is to go straight to the meter. And again, we're extremely disappointed about this behavior and how it unfolded.
Centerpoint says as a result of this incident, it is evaluating its practices and will talk to the contractor. The energy company says in no circumstance is it okay to strike an animal, even if the employee feels threatened. As for the Wilcox dogs, they're still recovering. One is getting surgery on his jaw this week. Mike Wilcox says that he got a call today from Centerpoint Energy. A person there actually said they would offer to help pay for some of those vet bills. Wilcox says due to the extent of the damage that his animals received, it could cost thousands of dollars. Reporting live from the headquarters downtown, Marla Carter, 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, for starters, I really felt that the way that the actual electric company, how they handled it was very coarse. How they were like, well, the actual contractor was out there to disconnect for lack thereof payment. I'm like, wow, way to actually have dignity and class. Yes, okay.
They didn't have to say that. Nope. They could have just simply said in the statement, we're there to service the line.
Yep.
Service the line.
Let's start with this. Why do we actually have people go into the actual property itself to do this? Everything can be done off of a computer. Everything's automated nowadays. I mean, really seriously? That's number one. Number two, this a-hole, if he would have done it to me, to our dogs, he would have met my fist. I would have been absolutely in this guy's face. You're going to actually hit my dog with a wrench? The same actions that you did to my dog, if you did to my kid, I would have had the same reactions. I would have come after you, and you would have had hell to pay.
The thing is these people are equipped with citronella spray. They're equipped with things for this particular reason. Say, just for out of argument's sake, that these dogs were aggressive.
They weren't. They were just bouncing around them.
I'm just saying, if they were actually aggressive, and they were going after somebody being in their yard, then they have particular things that should be carried with them. The citronella spray, the horn, yelling at the person in the house, hey, get your dogs off me now. You know, that was a way to do it. No, he wanted to feel powerful and get a wrench and smack a dog upside the head.
Well, he seemed like a real a-hole anyway. He looked arrogant.
He's the type that knows that he's not going to get fired.
Yeah.
He knows that he has particular attributes that make it extremely difficult for him to be fired.
Yeah. It's a load of crap. It's a load of crap. I mean, he honestly should be facing charges. He should be fired. Obviously, he will not be. This is when I get pissed. And you know what? I don't even care. The fact that if somebody was going to do that to our dogs or to our child, you know what? Whatever. I would be absolutely on this guy like crap on the grass.
Like white on rice.
Well, I like my life, but I'm burnt up over this one. It was just like you. For one, I love how they call him a contractor. No, he's a service person at best.
No, he's not a contractor. He actually works for a company that he has a W-2. He pays his taxes through his checks.
Yeah, he's not
us.
Yeah,
he's not like us.
I think contractor. I think it's somebody that goes out. I think like Ryan that actually builds something.
No, see, we're contractors.
That's true.
We are
True.
because we do everything on our own. We're private contractors. No, he's not a contractor. He doesn't have a contract with these people to go turn off people's electricity.
Yeah, I think that empowers him to know that he's turning people's electricity off. That totally empowers him.
Yeah, and I say he has a power trip problem, and he wants to assert himself over dogs.
Yeah, but I bet you if anybody kicked the crap out of him, it would have been a different situation. Huge different situation.
Cochran will be on the phone.
Oh, God. I just thought this guy was a piece of crap.
Yep.
Ugh. Sorry, guys. This is when I get burnt up. But when I see an animal abused by some jerk because they're on a power trip, I just say, you know what? Have that power trip over this way.
Yeah, let me see. Give him a dog and see what kind of fighting rings he'll get into.
Oh, I'm sure. Alright, well, with that heated amount of anger, that concludes this edition of G&D News.
And now a moment with Claire.
Hi Claire, you just got done with game number 2 of the spring soccer season 2016. Tell us all about your game.
We went down to 5-14.
No, the final score was 14-5.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we was going down today.
Yep, you guys first let's kind of go backwards. Let's go back a little bit. You guys started the game and you went down 2 goals. And then the whole team got upset and they started playing really well. And then all of a sudden you guys never looked back.
And it looked like I was like getting cold, but I was just jiggling because the team was making me mad. You were like, I'm going to get this. Yeah, you guys all did really well. You guys, nobody can see at home, honey. But what had happened is that you guys kind of didn't know how to start the game. I don't know what happened, but you guys started the game doing everything that was not like the team. Everybody was bunched up. Nobody was right where they were supposed to be. And then once those 2 goals went in, all of you just got so upset. And then by the end of the game, the other team was upset. You guys were all having fun. Yeah, and they was upset. We was more upset than them.
No, you guys were having fun at the end. Yeah. Well, anything else about the game you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, no.
That's all? All right. Well, thank you. Bye.
And this was a moment with Claire. Name the ball. Woof, woof.
Alright, contestant, this week we're actually going to be playing Guess the Bark. So, with that said, are you ready to hear your bark? Well, the bark, the sound effect.
Okay. It was like that whole rabies thing. Oh yeah, we got our rabies. Oh wait, we don't have rabies.
No, I don't have rabies.
No, the cat doesn't have rabies. It's got its rabies shot. Oh
there
yeah,
you go.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's another story. That's a whole ADD sidebar there. All right.
But yes, I
Claire,
am.
play that bark. All right. Now that you've heard the actual clip, do you have a guess?
I got one or two.
Well, I will accept one of them.
Well, first, when did you do this research? Was it today or was it a long time ago?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it does
yes,
not.
It does.
It doesn't matter.
Because I know how you work.
I work swiftly and abruptly.
Great Dane.
That is correct. It is a Great Dane. Okay, what was your other guess?
Mastiff.
That was good. After the vet today, that was a good choice. Okay, I can see
so
why.
I know I had one or two. I'm like, oh, and it's huge.
I did it because, okay, folks, one of the things, and we're going to conclude this segment, but one of the things that I am actually doing is I'm making a movie right now. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, and will be out at the end of the year. It's called The Progressions of a Great Dane. And we had
the first year of a Great Dane.
Well, I named the movie The Progressions of a Great Dane.
Whatever.
Sorry.
And then eventually you can add it on as he gets older and he gets gray in his muzzle and
well, it's
going to
be a year. It's going to be a year of watching him as he's coming into the salon. He'll be in the tub and dry and all this stuff and things. So I actually chose the Great Dane because he was in today. Thank you for playing Guess the Bark.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your paws together for a main topic.
All right, this is our main story of the actual podcast. As you guys all probably knew, it was going to be about the nicotine poisoning in our pets. It is a very major problem. And ironically, we see this a lot where dogs come in and you get them in the tub, and the moment you get them wet, it's an ashtray.
Yeah, we have. When we take a dog back or something like that, we don't have a code where we say it for what it is. We got an ashtray dog.
Yep.
And that means we have to do a lot more scrubbing. And you have to put in so much more work getting this ashtray dog clean. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, the people smoke inside the house, or they chain smoke. Where the type of people you can go into their house and you can wipe down their wall and you just see just nicotine on it. They don't ever not smell like smoke. And one time I even told a person, I was like, I'm sorry I couldn't get the cigarette smoke out of their coat. And the guy leaned in, took a big old whiff, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? She smells absolutely perfectly clean."
Well, the dog's clean, but it's like
the smell didn't, the smell dissipated to him because he's so used to smelling it all the time.
I got you.
It was a little unfortunate for the dog. I was very sad, but there's not much we can really do.
Well, it's like a dog that comes in and actually met a skunk. It goes away with a skunk. It'll go away, but it takes forever.
The problem with getting your dog skunked is that dogs get skunked in their face because they're putting their nose right in the way because they're sniffing to find out what kind of creature that is.
What kind of dog are you?
Yeah. Let me smell your backside and say hello. And then they spray right in the face. But everything that you have for deskunking, it says avoid contact with the eyes. So that means you can get around the muzzle and on top of the head. But you can't get anywhere near the eyes because when you rinse, the water drips down their eyeballs.
Right.
But now with the nicotine, I mean, they stink so bad.
It's. Now, I'll take a skunk dog over a smoke dog.
Me too. I myself, I smoked for years.
Up until last year.
Right. So I understand that people have a right to smoke and they're doing it to themselves. They're slowly killing themselves. That's fine. That's on them. I didn't smoke around Claire. I didn't smoke around my dogs. I didn't smoke around anybody. Only people I smoked around were the ones that were willing to be there. And that was typically you. But I never smoked in the house. I didn't want to smell like an ashtray. But now quitting smoking, smelling those dogs are even worse.
Right. And it actually is not just the smell of a dog that has smoke that's the problem. We all know that nicotine poses serious health threats, and according to Pet Poison Helpline, nicotine poisoning in pets is on the rise. So that's where this whole topic starts with.
Well, the one problem is, too, when it's on the rise, if you've noticed, the places where you're not allowed to smoke anymore, you're not allowed to smoke outside, and anywhere in LA, I think. I don't think you're allowed to smoke.
Really almost anywhere in the country.
It's getting to the point where you can't smoke outside.
Right.
So therefore, they're being forced to go inside because their habit's more important than anything.
Right.
So yes, the dogs having COPD and all these other, lung problems are coming more and more rapid because these people are deciding to go inside to
because
smoke.
smokers are being pushed against the wall. There's not much that they can do, so they stay in their house and they do everything in their house. And
unfortunately, too, a lot of smokers don't see smoking as a bad thing.
Right.
Because they're convincing themselves that it's just propaganda. They're convincing themselves that they're not killing themselves, even though they can't walk up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. And they think, oh, it's something else, it's not the smoking. So to them, they're in absolute such high denial that if the smoking's not killing them, it's not killing a dog.
Right. Well, in a statement I'm reading, we have handled cases for dogs and cats poisoned by eating traditional cigarettes or tobacco products containing nicotine for many years, says Amma Bruglig, DVMDABT, this is all of her stuff. She's the Associate Director of Veterinary Services at Pet Poison Helpline. She continues on by saying, as the use of e-cigarettes has become more widespread, our call volume for cases involving this has increased considerably. And the jury is still out on whether electronic cigarettes are as harmful for humans than regular cigarettes, but are the health hazards for pets just as high, or are they higher? And of course, a lot of people have these questions. Are these e-cigarettes, are they the same? Can you actually, there's a lot of places now that are saying, I'm sorry, you cannot actually smoke an e-cigarette. I've heard so many different cases where there are people that have been in a bar, in a resort, in movie theaters. There's lots of places where this happens. Now, personally, I don't want to be in a movie theater or near somebody who even is smoking an e-cigarette, but the simple fact is that their addiction does not have to be my addiction.
Well, I mean...
Now, this comes from somebody who doesn't smoke. You did smoke, so you're going to have a different opinion.
Well, my opinion with the e-cigarettes is that I don't think your lungs are going to absorb every bit of the nicotine that you just sucked in.
Right.
So when you exhale, you still exhale parts of the nicotine.
Yes.
Now, the part where I don't see it's such a big deal if it's done around me is the simple fact that I'm not allergic, so it doesn't bother me there. And it doesn't have foul odor, and there's actually no smoke. There's nothing...
It's vapor, right.
Yeah, it's nothing actual burning.
But if our daughter was near somebody who was smoking one, would you move her away from it?
I haven't seen studies to show that it would cause enough problems. I mean, you can go in LA and walk down the streets of Sunset and inhale that polluted air,
which
and it'll be as
so
worse, which is worse than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Well, that's true.
So I don't necessarily see where my daughter's going to be at risk, unless there have been proof and studies and such come up that says, hey, look, the vapor that they're exhaling is just as dangerous as secondhand smoke. Then I'm like, yeah, Claire, come on, let's stay away. Or, hey, can you do that somewhere else?
Right. Well, e-cigarettes are designed to resemble traditional cigarettes. The battery-operated devices optimize liquid that contains nicotine, turning it into vapor that can be inhaled. What it makes these cigarettes attractive to dogs are the wide array of scents and flavors. Your dog smells the aromas and want to ingest them. So this is where this part comes in, where now for all of you who are saying, well, I can't believe these people are actually going against smokers. No, it's not that we're going against you. It's the fact that we're actually talking about what your dogs might be attracted to and could harm them.
Yeah, trust me, we're not going against smokers. I play video games And one of my buddies are like, hey, can we take a break? I need to go have a cigarette. I wait until he gets back. Gets done smoking a cigarette and come back. I don't flip shit and stuff.
Wow, nice.
I don't flip out. I don't leave him. I don't defriend him or unfriend him. So we're not anti-smokers.
No, I don't think that anybody's right to whether it's go to a actual cannabis to actually get pot, whether it's edible or smoke it, whether it's smoking cigarettes. Anything you want to do with yourself and to your body is your choice. I have no problem with any of these things.
See, I got a problem when you infringe on others.
That my problem I have with it is when, and I've seen this, and you've seen this as well, and you've even asked me this question, and that is when a smoker is doing their thing without any consequence to the people around them. That's when I have a problem. You'll see somebody smoking a cigarette and they're just blowing the smoke anywhere, and they see people around and they just don't care.
Right, yeah, they do not care. They're just huffing, puffing, and they're ashing wherever they want to ash, and it gets gross.
And you've asked me that question. You're like, was I ever like that? I'm like, no, you were never like that. But there is a very high majority that are. And these are the people, and this is what we're talking about, these are the people that leave these products out where their dogs smell it and actually want to go and, ooh, this looks good.
Yeah, and then you start harming others. It's even when you cut down to a woman who's pregnant and she's sucking down a cigarette, and people are like, leave her alone, she's doing what she wants to her own body.
Right.
No, she's not. She's causing that baby to suffer damage.
Right.
Whether it's lucky enough to not have any damage at all, or it's going to be underweight, it's going to have underdeveloped organs. There is so much that it can happen. And then there's people out there that said, oh, well, my doctor said it's more dangerous to quit smoking, so I just continue smoking through my 9 months of pregnancy.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's
a load of crap.
I'll even go further, and we see all these things all the time, and that is driving your kid to school or around town, and they're smoking. No windows are up, and the kid's in the car, and there's nothing besides smoke in that car. So the kid is actually inhaling.
Well, why are you trying to step on the parents' parenting? That's their job. No, that's another living being that they're infringing on. That kid probably can't run as much as the other kids.
They have asthma.
They have asthma. My cousins, right? I don't talk to her. One of the reasons why I don't talk to her anymore. She smoked through all 3 of her pregnancies. Okay? All 3 kids have asthma. She smoked in the car with the kids. And she goes, oh, well, the window's down. It's okay. All 3 kids ended up smoking. Oh, well, the 3rd one's not old enough to. Or the 4th one isn't either. But her 2 oldest smoke. One smokes, and she's not even old enough to smoke, but she buys her cigarettes anyways. She got me smoking. And misery loves company.
Right.
So now these e-cigarettes, these regular cigarettes are on the table where a dog can get to it. Okay, then put up somewhere higher and away from your dog.
I think part of it is that people don't realize just how harmful it is, and you know we're topicking on how humans are, whether it's with their kids in the car or whatever. These same people that we're using as examples are the ones that are leaving this product right there for their dogs to actually ingest.
And honest to goodness, I didn't know that dogs were attracted to the scent of the e-cigarettes. So if I were to be an e-smoker and e-cigarette smoker, vapor,
yeah.
If I vaped, I might leave my stuff on the counter where the cats can get to it. I might leave it on the bed where the dog can get to it. I know Claire wouldn't touch it, so.
But still, you never know what your kids would do, and that's
I'm just saying is that I could see where I could have been guilty of leaving it where other people can get to it or other things can get to it. So, for those who honestly just didn't know, well, now you know.
And one of the things
we don't want to make them feel bad.
Right. Well, that's
because it felt like you were coming down a little hard on them.
No, that's what I was just about to say. I'm not. I don't want to feel. I don't want anybody to feel like we're pulling you out of pocket. We're pulling the people out of pocket that we know don't care.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that we're actually, saying this about. In addition to the scent being alluring to dogs, Brutlug, that's her name. It's a weird last name. She explains that the issue is the amount of nicotine in each cartridge. It measures between 6 milligrams and 24 milligrams. Each cartridge contains the nicotine equivalent of 1 to 2 traditional cigarettes. She says many people don't stop at 2. So nicotine poisoning in pets has a rapid onset of symptoms. Generally, within 15 to 16 minutes following ingestion, symptoms for the dog and cat include vomiting, diarrhea, agitation, elevation in heart rate, and respiratory. The depression, it also can cause depression, tremors, weakness, seizures, coma, and cardiac arrest. Cats are especially susceptible to health hazards from e-cigarettes. One of the primary ingredients in e-cigarettes, vapor, can lead to Heinz body. I didn't even know this one. Where the red blood cells become damaged. Cats can ingest this substance. Let me try this again. Cats can ingest this substance by licking or chewing on the device, which we all know cats love to chew on things.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I lost where I was at. According to the vetcon.com, Heinz body symptoms include discolored skin, fever, loss of appetite, pale lips and gums, reddish-brown urine. For more information about dangers of e-cigarettes in regards to your pets, you can call the your pet veterinarian or the pet poison helpline at 1-800-213-6680. So,
that focused around the e-cigarettes itself, though,
but that seems to be the trend. That's where we're
at. Yeah.
And we can go and talk about chewing tobacco. There's still a scent to that. You leave that on your table right there in your living room. How do we know that your dogs aren't going to go over there, smell it, and chew on it?
See, what takes one person to go through 1 or 2 cigarettes can take a dog or cat seconds to
Oops, sorry.
takes just seconds to suck it down.
Right.
And that is just an average person weighing between 110 pounds to 230 pounds can handle a cigarette without a problem. When you first have your cigarette, you're kind of mellow, or you feel like you're getting kind of high. At least when I did when I had the first cigarette. That is 100 and some odd times worse for your dog,
right,
or your cat.
And when we actually step away from the e-cigarettes, back to what we were talking about, smoking in the house. This smell of that is still going to cause COPD. It's going to cause asthma with your dogs. There are many different things that can actually come from smoking in the house with your dog or cat. They have tiny lungs. There is so many different things that smoking in the house can cause.
Secondhand smoke is just as dangerous as sucking it from the cigarette itself.
Right.
All because the person that's sucking on the cigarette has a filter first. If you cut that filter in half, you see all that black crap, all that brown stuff? It's worse in your lungs, and it keeps building. And so when you exhale, you're not exhaling perfectly clean air. No, because your lungs don't filter out all of the carbon monoxide that you suck in.
Right.
Or all the oxygen that you suck in when you take out.
I wonder how many of our listeners are still with us. Or they just said, you know what, these guys are judging me. I'm out of here.
Because they don't want to see the truth.
So for all of you who are still here, thank you for listening to us. I really appreciate it.
But I just got to the point where I was feeling sick. When I quit, I was feeling gross. My heart was going pounding out of my chest. And I was like, I'm done with this. And ever since, I feel better. I can breathe better. I sleep better. Everything is better.
Right.
And can you imagine taking that smoke away from your animal? Okay, if you want to smoke, that's fine. Go outside. Get away from the people that have to endure the smell. You know, if there's somebody living next door to you that has rotting garbage that's blowing into your house, you can't stand that smell for nothing. You can actually call and report them for filthy conditions.
Right.
Well, there's nobody for anybody else to call when it smells like smoke coming from your house. That's not fair.
Right. And you know, the hard part about a subject like this is that there's no way of a sensitive discussion. Because no matter what you say in this, somebody would be, you know, offended because maybe they're going to feel like we're talking about them. There's the example, and that's really what this is. This is an example of XYZ does Y 1, 2, 3. And, you know, this is what the facts are. So, you know, why shouldn't we talk about it? We've never shied away from anything else, so why should we start now?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can't handle, hey, you're bothering me, get away, then you can't handle anything else. You yourself can't say boo about nothing and have something change because it's bothering you. Well, because you're doing something that's bothering other people.
And you know how many times that we've even mentioned it, you know, you'll talk to somebody about the smoke and you're delicate about it, and they're still, I don't want to hear it. So it's like, no matter what, you're going to offend. I'm pretty sure that we have people who are listening to this that are like, I'm glad that they actually said something. And I'm sure there's probably one or two people who are like, oh, F you. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? If you understand the fact that this is really the PSA of what it is, this is what's happening, you know, you can hate us for actually saying it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Or you can appreciate the fact that somebody actually has the you-know-whats to actually come up and say it. It's
and if you don't like what we're saying, you can reach us at Facebook, the Groomer Next Door.
Podcast on Facebook. You can email us at thegroomerNextDoor@yahoo.com. There's so many ways to get in touch with us. Hey, I would love to
we even have a podcast phone number you can call and rip us a new one.
Yep.
I guarantee it will play it on the air.
Yeah, I love people to actually praise what we're doing, which is what we get most of the time. You know, once maybe every like 6 months we'll hear one person have something stupid to say, but hey,
I like to give it a call, voice it, and keep it clean. But if you don't keep it clean, we still beep.
I can easily slip it to explicit. I don't care.
But please show your ignorance.
Yeah,
loud and proud.
I love that. Well, by that sound, Claire has turned on the applause, and our security team is going to escort us out because of all the people that hate us now. So I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green. Make sure everybody realizes life is short. Play with your pet.
Claire.
Have a good day with your pet. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go. It's my bedtime.
And now the show is over now.